So, overeating during festivities such as Christmas has become a cultural norm that is deeply ingrained within our psychology.
Being around a table at Christmas, you've got that lovely family feeling and you've got all of that great food. So there's a lot of different physiological, psychological processes that work together to mean that we eat a lot. Sensory specific satiety is basically the change in pleasantness of the taste of a food as you're eating it. So as you eat your most loved food, the first bite is delicious, and as you proceed during the meal, it gets less and less delicious. And we think it's specific to the food that you're eating. So other foods tend to be unaffected unless they're quite similar. Sensory specific satiety is thought to be quite an adaptive phenomenon, because we are omnivores, and it serves us quite well normally in that we get tired of one food and then we switch to another. But in special occasions like Thanksgiving or Christmas time, if we pile our plate with a variety of different lovely foods, then it is very tempting to eat too much. The more variety that we offer people, then the more slow sensory specific satiety will be to develop. Everybody knows that feeling of total satiety at the end of a savoury meal, and yet there's a little bit of space for Christmas pudding. You will have that pudding stomach, you have that readiness to eat something sweet. And what that says is that the change in pleasantness, the change in hedonic pleasure from the food is specific to what you've just eaten, and other foods that are really different can still be quite tempting.
There's lots of evidence now that our food choices are strongly influenced by social factors, such as who we're eating with. For example, people tend to adjust their food choices based on the eating norms that are set by other people. So, for example, if we're eating with someone who's eating a large amount, then we're likely to follow suit and eat a large portion ourselves. There's also strong evidence that in general, people tend to eat more when eating with friends and family compared with when they're eating alone. And this is known as the social facilitation of eating. We think that social facilitation of eating might have evolved as a strategy to ensure that we obtain as much food as we can when we're sharing food. So throughout most of our evolutionary history, food was scarce, and so sharing food with others in our group would have been really important to help minimize the risk of starvation. But at the same time, it would have also been important for our ancestors to eat their fair share of the food that's available. And so this generates a internal conflict. So one way to overcome this conflict is to eat as much as other people in the group. And so this creates a kind of social competition and a kind of upward shift in the amount eaten by each individual in the group. And of course, in today's environment, food is no longer scarce, and we don't need to share food with other people. But it's still the case that evolutionary mechanisms continue to guide our eating behaviour. And in some situations, like when we're eating socially, this could contribute to overeating. There's some evidence that people often attach meanings to certain foods. So, for example, people might enjoy the taste of roast turkey because it reminds them of their childhood Christmas. There's also evidence that meals consumed during special occasions, such as Christmas, elicit stronger positive emotions than regular meals do. And it's possible that we might eat more of a certain food simply because we've attached positive emotions and memories to that food. And the stronger this link becomes between the food and positive memory, the more likely we are to indulge in that food.
So food is not just about nutrition. It's about coming together. It's about commensality. It's about building really lovely memories and then reflecting back on past Christmases and past times of family gatherings and sharing stories. So it's a really important part of our culture. It's very much part of who we are.